Time flies. Growing up as a child, I laughed and cried. Excitable I was, and not to be denied. Inquisitive by nature as I grew tall, I was loved by my parents and adored by all. In my teens, people saw me as really young, while my only goal in life was to have fun. My mind would explore and meander, even as my heart refused to surrender. In my 20s, I was still really young, as stories of love my heart sung. Too young and fresh for a regret, I did not have a need to forget. In my 30s, I was still in my prime, the feeling of love was still sublime. The clock, however, said I was getting older, even as new responsibilities I had to shoulder. In my 40s, I was at my peak, at least mentally, so to speak. Sport and music was still my pleasures. As family and children, I learned were my treasures. In my 50s, I felt I still had gas left in the tank. Not so, said my limbs, to be frank. My mind wanted my limbs to make that move. My legs, however, said I have nothing to prove. In my 60s, I was hoping of driving into the sunset, some gardening, reading, and raising a pet. With time on my hands and in retirement, I could explore the world to my heart's contentment. In my 70s, I was wisdom galore. I had stories to share and plenty more. Filled with wisdom I was, even as my mind had gaps. I enjoyed sharing stories, even as life was in its final laps. In my 80s, I was still young, at least at heart, though I had doubts as my mind was falling apart. I regaled my grandchildren with stories infinite, as they sat there listening and lapping every minute. In my 90s, I never thought I would get there. It dawned on me that life had been more than fair. With a fading memory and a toothless laugh, I had realized that happiness was still a walk in the park. 100, oh my, I'm not old yet. I'm starting my life again if my body would let. I had now lived through love and loss. Life, I had learned, was like flipping a toss. Be happy today and bring joy to all. Time flies by, so have a ball.